Hi friends, welcome to my channel. Today I am making banana crunch muffins. That's what they look like when they're ready, and this is a really delicious recipe. It has granola and coconut in it, and I hope you stick around to see me make it. And if you like this kind of content, please hit that subscribe button below. I post cooking videos all the time because I am always cooking or baking something. That's something that I love to do. So I hope you'll stick around, and this is a really easy recipe. So let's get started here. I only need one bowl and one measuring cup to make this, so it's really easy. I start with the dry ingredients, and I'm starting with the flour there. You're going to see me scoop the flour 3 times because I'm using a ½ cup measure. So overall it's 1½ cups of flour to make 12 muffins. So this is really easy. If you have a couple of bananas that are kind of past their prime and they're not going to be eaten anymore, this is the perfect recipe for that. It's not banana bread. Everybody always says they're going to make banana bread and then they don't, because it's a little more involved than making muffins. Muffins are really easy. All you need is a whisk, a bowl, and you're done. So that's 1½ cups of flour, and then I'm going to add, let's see what I'm going to reach for next. It's 1 teaspoon of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of baking soda, but I'm going for the sugar first there. And this was kind of, my cup wouldn't fit inside the sugar container, so I had to make sure that it would work. So I always try to measure on top of the bowl so that if something falls off to the side, then it falls inside the bowl. So that's what I did there. And that's 1 cup of sugar, sorry. So 1 cup of sugar, and these are sweet muffins, but they're not too sweet. That's one of the good things about them. It's really easy to find recipes that are too sweet, and these aren't. They're just the right touch and the right amount of sweetness. So that's 1 teaspoon of baking powder that I just added there, and ½ teaspoon of baking soda. So you see that it was a half there. I didn't use the full measure. And ½ teaspoon of salt. So I use kosher salt. You can use table salt as well, but I suggest that you change that. Table salt can be a little harsh, so that's why I like kosher salt in my cooking and in my baking. And there isn't a price differential. It's a little bit more expensive to buy kosher salt, but it's really not that much. So now I am breaking 1 egg into 1 stick of butter that's melted and ½ cup of milk. So now I'm going to add about 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And buy good vanilla. I think it makes a difference. There are people who believe that you can use the fake vanilla and that it doesn't impact anything. I'm not one of those. I think that the better the ingredients that you start with, the better your cooking or baking is going to be. So you can see that I'm mixing the wet ingredients in a measuring cup, and I'm whisking them together. Make sure they are well blended, and then add that to the dry ingredients, and that's it. That's the whole recipe. You just add a few add-ins later, and that's all that you need to do. It's really easy. You don't need a mixer. You don't need to dirty a bunch of little bowls getting ready. Just scoop and dump, and you're ready to go. So that's the best way to make muffins, and the less you mix them, the better they're going to be. And one thing about this recipe, I don't know if it's the milk or if it's the amount of butter and the ratio of butter to the other ingredients, but these are moist muffins. Have you ever had a dry muffin before? And they kind of have like a sugary taste, but that's all there is to them. These are not like that at all. These are really moist, and the add-ins that I add, the granola and the coconut, make them delicious. So that's why they're banana crunch muffins, because I add 1 cup of granola to the batter, and then I put some more granola on top afterwards as well. And then I'm going to add 1 mashed banana and 1 diced banana, and I'm adding that right now. So different textures, and that's one of the good things about this muffin. You have a texture from the granola, you have a texture from the mashed banana as well as the diced banana, so you have little pieces of banana going through it, and you can really taste it. So my bananas were pretty ripe, which is a good thing. So I always keep different kinds of bananas on hand. Some are a little more ripe for me to bake with, and some are better for eating. So the diced banana is for eating, and the mashed banana is the riper one. And now I've just added half a cup of sweetened coconut. So it's a really easy recipe, and you can see that I switched from the whisk to a spatula, and that makes it really easy to incorporate all of those ingredients. So, you know, it's interesting. Oh, I just saw my fan going in the window. This was like at 6 in the morning when I was making these muffins, and it was already warm outside. We are spending the summer in our little beach cottage on Cape Cod, and usually we live in Southwest Florida in Naples. I don't know if you've ever heard of Naples, but it's pretty hot there right now. But right now we are on Cape Cod, and it's already warm at 6 in the morning. So we have the fans going, and it's nice. So now I'm just scooping the muffins. I use an ice cream scoop to make sure they're all pretty much the same size. And I scoop them to the top of the wrapper thingy. I forget the name. It's not really a wrapper. It's like a liner, right? A muffin liner. So I scoop them all the way to the top, and you'll see me go back and add a little bit to the smaller ones because I had a little bit of batter left over. But you can really fill them to the top, and they become huge and gorgeous muffins and golden brown, and they're just delicious and crunchy. And the inside, you can see me going back there and adding a little bit of batter to the top of the other ones that looked a little too small. So you can do that too. So that's one of the good things about baking. As soon as it hasn't gone into the oven yet, you can kind of play around with it. You also have to be very precise. You have to try to measure ingredients well. That's why a lot of people who cook don't really like to bake, because of that precision that's needed, but I love it. So now I'm going to put all of these dishes away, and I'm using a silicone muffin pan today, but I'm going to put that on a baking sheet. It's just easier to transport it from the oven and into the oven. So I'm going to move that right now, and oh, I made it. That worked. And the oven is preheated to 350 degrees, and it's going to be in there from 25 to 35 minutes, depending on how brown you like them. Now I'm adding some little bits of granola to the top. It helps to decorate them, and it also gives them an extra crunch on top, because those little bits of pieces get really brown in the oven, and it's really delicious. The granola I'm using, you should look for this on Amazon. I got it from Amazon. It's the Whole Foods 365, which is their store brand, vanilla granola, and it's so delicious, and it's so affordable too. You think because it's Whole Foods it would be more expensive, but it's actually more expensive to buy granola at my grocery store than it is to get it from Amazon. So I got a box of granola from Amazon, and I just keep it on hand, and that's what they look like. They were in the oven for 35 minutes, and they look brown. They're well done inside, and they are delicious. You know, my boys just gobble them up. And it's easy to make something yummy for your family, you know. Take the time to do that. And this is what they look like, all dressed up and ready to go. So thank you for spending time with me today. I hope that you've enjoyed this recipe, and I hope you'll come back for more. Check out my other videos. I do a lot of cooking and baking. If you've enjoyed this, hit that subscribe button, and I hope you'll come back. Enjoyed this recipe. Enjoy banana muffins and a lot of other delicious things that I have on my channel. Thanks for being here.